Well, good afternoon and welcome along to the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Month Expo, live here this afternoon from Market Square. My name's Damien Fisher from Clarence Media and Loving Life 103.1, and a pleasure to welcome from the Grafton Chamber of Commerce the lovely Donna. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it a fantastic day down here? Beautiful weather.
Absolutely beautiful. Not too hot, not too cold, just a lovely day. Lovely day to be out and at the markets.
Now, of course, the Grafton Small Business Expo from the Grafton Chamber of Commerce was an initiative of the New South Wales State Government for Small Business Month. How important is small business in the Grafton and the Clarence Valley community?
Look, it's extremely important because the Clarence Valley Council is made up of a lot of small businesses. So really without those, you've got some major ones, but the small businesses really operate 1 and 2 man businesses, even just with even half a dozen or a dozen people. It makes what we are.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Now, of course, we're down here at the farmers markets today at Market Square. We've got some of our local Chamber of Commerce businesses that are represented. Tell us about some of those.
That's right. So we have a real variety. We've got Clarence Valley Anglican School. So we've got from schools to TAFE College to employment agencies to timber mills. We also have event people here as well. So really a really good variety of people. We have Findex, which is accountants. So we've got from all walks of life and all small businesses.
And even a bridal shop.
And even a bridal shop, that's correct, yes.
So
Sorry not to leave anybody out.
If you want to get married, you can come down here and check out a dress.
Well, if we had had it arranged, we could have probably had a wedding down here.
That's exactly right. How good would that have been live on TV? It's interesting, I was scrolling through Facebook today, and Deb Novak, of course, the organiser of these Grafton Farmers Markets, put a post up on social media, and the startling fact is that $2 billion comes from our local Clarence Valley businesses back into the economy.
Yep, look, and that's amazing, and that's why it's so important for people to shop local, support your local businesses, because really that's what makes this community as it is, local people, local shopping, and just supporting everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone supports each other. Even setting up here, I noticed today, as soon as somebody set up with something and needed a hand, there was somebody running over to give you a hand, and that's community. That's what makes this special.
That's exactly right. And we thought, I think we said about 6 weeks until Christmas, is that right?
It is, that's right,
That's
yes.
pretty scary stuff.
It is, it's getting very close.
So the
Yep.
important thing is, if you can shop local and you can buy it locally, then do that and support the mums and dad businesses.
Well, that's certainly right, and it's a lovely place to be out for the markets especially, but even the local businesses. Everybody has gone through a tough few years and really needs local people to shop locally, so it's
Excellent.
really good, yes, when you can.
All right, well, of course, you're the general manager of Nataris and Sons, another
That's correct,
great local
yes.
business, so we'll talk to you a little bit later on about that.
That's fine, thank you very
Thanks,
much,
Donna.
Damien.
Lovely
Righty
Donna,
then.
of course, one of the organisers, of course, for the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Month. Of course, the expo down here at Market Square this afternoon. So come on down, have a bit of a browse around, have a browse at the great markets that are down here, and of course, have a look at some of the local businesses that are down here as well. Some of the great interesting facts that I found out, there's 4,030 registered businesses in the Clarence Valley, and of those 114 are new businesses. And the other startling fact is agriculture has the highest number of businesses with 1,062, which is absolutely amazing. So it's really important that we support our farmers, support those that are down here today, and like we just said, if you can buy it local, then make sure you do that. We're going to get another very interesting guest coming up in a matter of moments. Derek from FXBC is going to join us, and we'll do that very shortly. Yep. And yes, we are live here at the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo at Market Square. Of course, also the farmers markets through until 7 o'clock this evening. My next guest is from FXBC. Derek Irvine is my guest today. Derek, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yourself?
I am terrific this afternoon. Tell me a little bit more about FXBC, what you guys are and what you do.
Well, we are the Fujifilm and Lexmark dealer on the Mid-North Coast, so we support Fujifilm, Fuji Xerox, Lexmark printers, business equipment. We also do scanning software, print software, sort of solution software. So if you've got invoices you want to get into a database, we can provide help to
And you were saying to me earlier that if people have got some old files that they want to actually scan and then get rid of out of storage, and shred them.
One of our sister companies, Elite Scanning Solutions, we will actually collect documents for you, have them scanned, archived, digitalised, searchable, and then we can arrange for secure destruction. So you can save space and on your premises, and get stuff that you can actually get into and index and find things quickly, rather than spending half a Saturday morning going through some 7-year-old boxes.
Exactly, and I was going to say that's the thing about the old system of people are used to actually going through the filing cabinets and so forth, but now we can actually put it up in the cloud.
Yeah, and it's securely stored.
Yeah. So tell me more about some of the other things that you can do. We've got a little brochure that you've got here.
Yeah, that's the Copy Centre, which is another sister company. They're all owned by the same family. And we do business-to-business products, so marketing type materials, business cards, anything in print really. You want garments, t-shirts, garment printed, all those kind of things. We also do personalised gifts, so mouse mats, mugs, photo books. So if you've been on a fantastic round the world trip and you want to make that into a book that you can show on your coffee table, we manufacture those. So basically anything you can do that you want to have personalised, we can do that. Pop-up banners. Yeah. So if we don't do it in-house, well, we can subcontract stuff like that out too.
And price-wise, competitive?
Yeah, we're always competitive. And we've got our own designer, so we've got in-house designers, and we've done work for some of the people around the Chamber of Commerce here.
Yeah, fantastic. So you guys are you are here based locally in
Yes,
in Grafton?
I live in Grafton, or just north of Grafton, and I look after this area.
Yeah.
The company works between Port Macquarie, Coffs and Grafton. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So it's very local.
So how can we get in contact with you?
You can phone our number, which is on there, the office number, which is 0266526844, and that's the office in Coffs where most of the stuff's dealt with. You can also find us online. We've got a fxbc.com.au. You'll find a web page. The Copy Centre you can find online, copycentres.com.au, and the Wheat Scanning's also got a website. But if you call our office, one of the girls can talk you through it.
Yeah, fantastic, excellent. Or of course you can come down here this afternoon to the Market Square and have a chat.
I have a mono printer to give away this afternoon, so if you want to win a printer, come on down and say hello.
Fantastic. What do you have to do to do that? Just come and say hello?
Just come on and say hello.
Oh, all right, well, hello.
Give me your name, your number, and we'll just pick one at random.
Fantastic. Derek, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.
Derek Irvine from FXBC, one of our local businesses here in the Clarence Valley, down here of course at the Farmers Market. So come down and have a chat to Derek and say hello, give him your details, and you can win that fantastic printer. We all need printers these days, so make sure you do that. We are live down here through, of course, Clarence Media YouTube channel in conjunction with Loving Life 103.1. Great to have your company. We'll come back with some more very special guests from the Grafton Chamber of Commerce right after this. Welcome back to the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Month Expo down here at Market Square this afternoon. With me right now is one of the executive members of the Chamber and also a local business. Jeremy's with us from Gempire Events. G'day, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Look, I am terrific this afternoon. Now, tell me more about Gempire Events, what you guys actually do. Because what does Gempire actually stand for?
You want to know the background behind the
Yeah,
name?
why not? That's all right.
Sorry, distracted me for a second there. Gempire Events comes from, my name's Jeremy, and when I was a kid I got called Gem by my parents,
Okay.
especially my dad. And the Empire stands for, like, I'm building my own empire with my businesses. And so Gempire Events, basically Gempire is anything I put my name on to brand to, and that's my signature. So I've got Gempire Events. I also have Gempire Studios. That's a separate thing. But
Okay.
Gempire Events is, I do event management, sound, lighting and effects, audio visual, DJing as well, MCing, I MC events, graphic design, promotion, so like, trying to sell tickets for festivals and things like that. Run a lot of our own events, but also partnering with other businesses and local community groups to run their events and get things happening. I work with all community, but I am very passionate about youth as well. So a lot of what we do is youth focused, heavily involved in Youth Week and other things to do with mental health as well, Mental Health Month, and not-for-profit organisations that do a lot of work with those areas of the community services sector. So that's something that is very close to my heart, I'm very passionate about, and the rest of my team also. We all align with those values and understand the importance of those things. And
Because you're a youth worker with the New School of Arts.
yes, I wear many hats. So I'm Gempire Events. I've got two other businesses, Gempire Studios, and I've also got the Wolf Media. We do photography, videography, and digital content, digital media. That's with my business partner Darcy. For anyone who knows Darcy, he is incredible with his video work as well. So I wear all those hats, and then I've also got the New School of Arts, youth work. I've been there a while, which is cool. I love that place. It's every time I think it's kind of coming to a close with the chapter and I'm doing other ventures, something pops up and I end up getting, involved back into whatever the latest program is there. So I love that place as well, and everyone who works there. Especially, I just want to give a shout out to all my co-workers there, especially Sky and Amanda and my good friend Zach, who runs another program under the New School banner called Changing Lanes.
I have heard about that, and he's actually got an interesting event that happens once a month at the library.
Yes, the Changing Lanes, Changing Lives monthly car meet happens at the library. That's another example of the sort of stuff that I love to see happening in the community, which is collaboration between businesses and organisations to make things happen for the community. And when the budget doesn't quite cover everything, kind of coming up with creative ways and getting people's passions aligned to make those things happen. That's a great example of that kind of thing, and all the stuff that Zach's done with that is incredible. It's gone from strength to strength with that event to the point where he's almost outgrown the venue and needs a bigger space almost. And that's, again, the Grafton Library are awesome with that, and Clarence Valley Council and all the other partners. Things like Youth Week, there's another event that happens there for Youth Week every year called Live and Loud. That's another one that wouldn't be possible if all the stakeholders didn't come together to collaborate and make it happen, kind of thing. Yeah.
So no wonder you're busy.
Yeah. So today I'm wearing my Gempire Events hat because I've got my own little stall here set up, playing some music, and as a part of the Chamber of Commerce, I'm on the exec team for the Chamber. I love the Chamber because it's a great way for businesses to collaborate to help make things happen for our community. It might be a business forum, but that doesn't mean it's all business, because business and community go hand in hand. If you don't do something, if you don't have, I guess, like an awareness and involvement with community, then your business is not gonna succeed, because that's the reason you're in business, is to serve the people of your community. So the Chamber is a great way to help enact more things for the community. And that's why I love being involved. So.
And I think it's exciting times, especially coming into Christmas, and we know that the council have got some grant money that they're going to transform Prince Street. So I think over summer and into the new year, it's actually going to make a huge difference, and hopefully the community can come out and actually enjoy, the beautiful weather.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's called Streets and Shared Spaces, something along those lines. And they're going to do a few things as a bit of a tester with the main street to help improve the CBD for everyone. And if those things are successful the way they hope they to be, then that is going to hopefully mean more funding to then make it all happen, make the main street even better than it already is, and give it something exciting for all of us in the community to enjoy, but also anyone passing through, more of a reason to stop in. We have the Jacaranda Festival, which is awesome, and that event brings so much to the town in terms of the economy and everything else, so it'd be good to see more of those sort of things happening, and upgrading the main street is just one of those things. I go to other communities, up the coast, and when they've got their CBD done right, it's more reason to pull in and find a cafe and then maybe do some shopping while you're there, or whatever it is. But yeah,
look, I think it's exciting times, and the Jacaranda Festival's just finished, so what a great event that was.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Shout out to Mark and everyone, the committee, Des and the president, and everyone else involved, because they're the sort of things that help take our community's economy from strength to strength. And all the things that come out of that, everyone just thinks, oh, it's 2 weeks and done, but it's not. There's so much more that goes into it, and there's so much more of a flow-on effect with how that affects everything. You have all the accommodation booked out, all the restaurants and cafes are maxed out, because I remember during those 2 weeks it was hard to go and get a coffee, which is a great thing. So yeah, but there's so much more that comes out of that, as far as like the community's involvement with the candidates and the fundraising events they do in the lead up to it, and all the other things too. So seeing more of that stuff happen would be great. But yes, Jacaranda Festival is an awesome part of all these things that happen in our community.
And just on that, next Thursday night at the GDSE, there's a presentation of some of the awards for the float parade and for other things that happen during Jacaranda, but also for community feedback. They're really keen on getting some community feedback about what they did right, what they did wrong, but constructive community feedback.
Yeah, nice.
So fantastic. All right, how can we get in contact with you?
So best way would be to don't touch our Instagram at the moment. There's a little bit of an annoying story behind that. The account's compromised at the moment. Someone's hacked it, unfortunately.
Not the same people that have hacked Medibank Private, I hope.
No, I don't think so. So don't look for us on Instagram. But Facebook, Gempire Events. Otherwise, contact us on 0422 04870, or jump on our website and you'll find contact details there as well. Do all sorts of weddings, festivals, parties, corporate events as well. We do everything. So whether you're having a small function, or you're running like an awards night as a part of the business, and you want something a little bit special to take to the next level with audio visual staging. Oh yeah, I've got a stage too.
You got a stage as well?
Yeah.
Jeez. So is that parked in the backyard when you don't use it to do a bit of karaoke, and the neighbours join you on stage as well?
Kind of.
Yeah,
It's a really nice piece of gear.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to... I've already done a few events with it, but the first one that's happening in Grafton will be Ashley Albert's end of year dance concert. So she's the first one who gets to make use of it for her event.
They christen it.
Yeah, and it's going to be awesome, because it's next level, this stage. And part of the reason why I got it was because I wanted more of that sort of infrastructure to be located here in the community, and for us to be able to have access to those things and make everything better, really. You want a stage? Yeah, we've got a proper stage, and that just elevates everything. I guess there's a bit of a pun there, elevating with the stage. But it makes it all better, like having a proper stage with a well-run event, supporting local artists, all those kind of things, local vendors as well with food and art and all those sort of things. They're the kind of things that, I'm going on a bit of a rant here now, but I feel like sometimes people undervalue what we have here in our community. Yeah. Because we have so much on offer, and we need to support more locally, I think. And when, don't automatically think like within the range of your local network, you think that there's no one that can do a certain thing, Search a little harder, and you never know what you're going to come up with or find out. And and if we don't have it, try and figure out a way to create it using local if you can.
And the thing is, if you can't do it yourself, then you might be able to call someone else who has some gear that could actually help you out. And it's, like you said, a collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's no need to go to Coffs Harbour and get audio, visual and sound gear. We've got it right here in Grafton. We do, don't we?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Jeremy, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
There we go, Jeremy from the Chamber of Commerce and also Gempire Events down here at Market Square this afternoon. We'll take a break and come back with more. And welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets and of course the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo for 2022 down here at Market Square. Jenny joins me from Findex. G'day Jenny, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm terrific. Now Findex is just across the road near the Saracen Theatre.
We're near the Saracen, near Anderson's, across from the fire station.
So tell me about Findex. What do you guys do and who are you?
What we are, we're basically an integrated financial services provider. So we've got accountants doing a lot of small business, individual tax returns, all your family accountancy type work. But we also have financial planners, we have insurance brokers, we have lenders, we have basically everything in one spot.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, in small business, probably the last thing people want to do is actually their tax.
Yes.
So the best thing to do is come and see you guys and you can get it done for them.
Basically, yeah, you come and see us and we can sort of help you with all your tax and accounting. But it's also really handy for, say if you come in, you deal with one person, that person can then help you with your insurance, put you in contact with someone involved with, say you want life insurance or you want risk insurance or any of those sort of things. We've got a financial planner who we deal with in the office who's very good, who sort of, we actually all chat to and get help with if we need any advice ourselves with how things work in regards to super and things like that. So he's always a great source of information.
And I guess laws are changing all the time for small business, aren't they?
Yes, we spend so much time on training and learning all the new regulations, everything that's been brought in. We do probably about 2 hours of training a month, and that's just organised by Findex. We also do, a lot of us are doing study and things like that at the same time. So we've got people who are doing like the chartered accountant qualification. I'm doing a master's in tax. We've got people doing uni, all sorts of courses. So,
and I guess, how long have you been an accountant?
20 years.
Wow.
22 years.
So I guess over that time things have changed. You don't do it by hand anymore?
Dramatically. So when I started, we had like the big pages with all the columns, and you had to add it all up manually.
Wow.
You had to write it all out. If you made a mistake, you'd rub it out and you'd start again. Now there's so much that's done with sort of cloud-based programs. So we do a lot of work with MyOb and Xero, those sort of things, where some of the basic data entry is actually taken care of by sort of inputs from banks these days. So we do a lot more of that sort of thing, and I suppose in the time I've been working, we've seen the GST come in as well. So there's a lot of ongoing compliance work that we're involved in.
Yeah, and I guess also given the fact that we've had those, for example, Medibank Private being hacked and so forth.
Yes.
I mean, how safe is the cloud system? Do you worry sometimes?
You do worry, but I think we've got so many checks with things like authentication codes and things like that. I think the bigger risk is actually the human risk.
Right.
With people clicking on, say, an email that they don't recognise. That sort of thing I think is probably where the risk is, more so than the actual just physically hacking. I don't think they need to be that clever sometimes, the hackers. I think it's just getting in with someone, not having their guard up.
And in regards to that, if you see an email and you don't recognise the email address or you don't recognise who it's from, just don't click it.
Don't go near it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And we sort of tell clients as well, if you get a phone call you don't expect, or if you get an email you don't expect, or anything like that, come and talk to us. Don't assume that it is from the tax office. They could tell you they're from the tax office, but don't be tricked into giving them information like your bank details or anything like that, because it's so easy for people to lose money that way. So we do say just, trust no one really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in regards to Findex, you guys have had, I think you were another name before you became Findex?
There have been a number of different names. So I started with Findex in 2017. We were Crow Horth at that point.
Yes.
But the organisation as a whole was already Findex. It's just that we all sort of came under the one umbrella term. But it has been, I think, WHK prior to that.
Yes, I
think it might have been
name.
maybe Cameron's before that.
Yeah.
But you're sort of going a bit before my time. But yeah, it's been around a while.
And I guess the good thing about joining the Findex brand is that it's not just, obviously you've got locals working here, here in Grafton, but it's a nationwide name.
It really is, and it's got a lot of advantages. So we've got a fellow who works in our office who is actually doing work for people in Dubbo. So he's working in the super field, so he spends a lot of time doing that sort of work, and because we've got the geographical spread, he's able to do that. But it's also, if you change where you live. You can keep working for who you used to work with. It's also, we do a lot of training for people in country areas. That's one of the big things, sort of training rural staff and training people locally too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I guess the thing is too, I mean, if you're someone that sort of moves around a lot as a customer,
Yeah.
and you're with Findex, at least
That's
you can
exactly
always
right.
move as long as there's a Findex
I mean,
in that town.
I've got clients I do work for I've never met in person. They've sort of come to me throughout the years, and they might be living on the Gold Coast, they might be living, anywhere in Australia. We've got some overseas that do that.
Yeah.
So it's, we're not bound by geography anymore.
And I guess, I mean, obviously, COVID showed us how easy it is to use Zoom and Skype and so
And
forth.
that's where something like Findex really comes into its own, in that we do have, say we've got a location here in Grafton, we've also got tax specialists that we can use technology to contact in other offices. So if it's a particularly complex question, we might contact our people down in Coffs Harbour. There's a very good tax specialist down there. Or we might contact, someone in Brisbane. So that's where technology comes.
Yeah,
really good.
very much so. Well, of course, if people would like to contact Findex in Grafton, how do we do that?
We are at 105 Prince Street. 66409200 is our phone. Just call in and see us.
And of course, you guys are big supporters of the Grafton Chamber. I know Glenn's
We are.
on the chamber executive.
Yep.
So,
And I am as of yesterday.
oh, there, congratulations!
Yeah, so,
that's fantastic.
That's a new one that's just
Yeah.
happened. So we had our AGM yesterday. So that's it's something I'm looking forward to getting involved with.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Jenny, thanks for having a chat.
No worries.
Jenny from Findex, our guest, one of the local businesses down here today at Market Square. Come down for the Small Business Expo put on by the Grafton Chamber of Commerce and the Grafton Farmers Markets. We'll catch up with Deb Novak, who's the organiser of the Farmers Markets, very shortly here across the Clarence Valley on Clarence Media YouTube, supported by 103.1. And welcome back to Market Square. It is the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo, and of course the farmers market's here through till 7 o'clock right now. We're having a chat with Mary Therese from ETC. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Damo.
Now, tell me about ETC.
Okay, ETC is a local employment provider in Grafton. The program that ETC is running is the Disability Employment Service Program. That's for anyone between the ages of 16 to 65. And what that requires is if you're on unemployment benefits, you need to meet your mutual obligations through work. Centrelink will assess you for a benchmark, so you might just have a benchmark of 15 hours. So then we support our participants. We assist them and support them into getting work to meet their benchmark for their Centrelink benefits.
When you say disability, what kind of disabilities do you support?
Some of the examples would be, so it's physical disabilities and medical, but like I've got a couple of participants that have got diabetes.
Sure.
So with their medical conditions, they can only work 15 hours. It might be due to the heat or other things. There's a range that I just can't think of the top of.
That's all right. So when you say you support them, so you actually go to the place of employment and support them there?
So we will reverse market them
Sure.
to a local employer and say, look, Joe needs 15 hours a week work. And depending, because they can say yes or no whether they want to have their disability, like the employer, if the employer needs to know what their disability is, it's up to them. So we just really reverse market that they're looking for 15 hours a week work in whatever industry. Look, I've got young blokes that have got a little bit of depression and they're out doing traffic control. Once they get into traffic control or aged care, we don't see them again.
Yeah.
They're two big industries.
Yeah.
In Grafton.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you're saying also you've got you wanting to put people into volunteer work.
So we're also looking for organisations in Grafton that might be looking for people who can do voluntary work. To meet those obligations for Centrelink, it would be the 15 hours. So if you've got anyone out there that is looking for volunteers, you can easily give me a call, and I can probably call Damo for my number or my email.
All right, so and of course ETC is in the centre of Grafton anyway.
We were in the centre of Grafton, so just to let everybody know that we have relocated. And we're now working out of the CHS training building in South Grafton, and that's the big yellow building off Bent Street. We're just right at the front of the building.
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you go. I didn't know that.
No. So
I
yeah.
don't get out
that's
much.
just recently happened. So we lost our shop front, and we've gone over there, and we've worked with CHS for many years. So it's been a great little partnership there.
So if people are unemployed at the moment and they they're looking for a job, can they just walk in off the street?
No. So what they have to do there is a process to be able to come to ETC. So you would have to, one, you're on Centrelink benefits, and two, you have to be assessed by Centrelink that you would fall into that program. Sure. And then Centrelink will refer you. And then we go through the whole process of working out, do you want to work?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what type of work are you looking for?
Yeah,
And
okay.
what can we do to get you that type of work?
Sure.
And so we just go through a list of what's required.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having a chat.
That's okay.
I think you have got a website though, ETC.
It's etcltd.com.au.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, we appreciate you coming along, Mary Therese, and have a wonderful afternoon. People
Thank
can come
you.
down and see you down
Thank
here
you.
this afternoon anyway.
They can, yes.
All right.
Pop in. We've
All
got
right.
lots of free little rubber balls, we've got pens, we've got keep cups, and we've got those pop-out things you put on the back of your mobile.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, lots of little free
Wow.
giveaways. So
All right.
pop on down.
Absolutely, thank
you. Thank
Mary
you, Dave.
Therese from ETC, our guest this afternoon. We're broadcasting live down here, of course, at the Grafton Farmers Markets for the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. Come down, we're here through till 7 o'clock. And welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets and the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. We're down here broadcasting on the Clarence Valley, or the Clarence Media YouTube channel, supported by Loving Life 103.1. And of course, it is the Small Business Expo here at Market Square. And the lovely Katie from TAFE joins me right now. Good afternoon.
Hello, how you going?
I am terrific. Now, I'll tell you what, you had a huge TAFE markets for Jacaranda, didn't you?
We did. It was massive.
It was such a great day, except it did rain, and I think everyone just scattered for a moment there, didn't they?
They did. There was a few minutes of rain and we all got a tiny bit wet, but it was a really fantastic day. People didn't want to leave, so great day for everyone. We're looking forward to next year.
Absolutely, and a shout out to Kylie, who was one of the organisers for the whole day. She did a brilliant job, didn't she?
Yes, Kylie is fantastic. We couldn't do it without her, so yes, big shout out there.
Exactly. Well, of course, the school term, the TAFE term, is coming to a close. You've got a couple of weeks left, but now's the time to start thinking about enrolling for 2023.
That's right. Our new website has actually gone live this week.
Wow.
Yes, it's very user friendly, so now is a good time for everyone to go on there and have a look at the courses we are offering at the Grafton campus for next year.
Fantastic. What sort of things can we study?
So there's lots of courses there you can have a look at. So I'm actually in the business and technology section. So we have a lot of business courses, a lot of computer courses. So next year we've got some Certificate 1 in workplace skills, Certificate 2, some Certificate 3 in business you can do. We're really hoping to bring back campus life now that COVID has gone away, or it's hanging in the shadows there. We've got Certificate 3 in information technology. You can look at doing cyber security there if you're interested, which is obviously really important.
It's a hot topic at the moment, isn't it?
It is. We've got network, information technology, network studies. We have got digital technology there you can do. Now these courses we obviously do want to bring back campus life, so if you can go on to the website there and have a look and enrol, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, because I think it's important that we get that life back into TAFE here in Grafton, because you've got such a wonderful campus and wonderful facilities. I mean, I didn't get a chance on that Jacaranda Market Day to have a look at the studio complex, but one of my co-volunteers at the radio station was like beside himself because he went into the actual sound room and where all the lights was, and he was like a big kid. It was his toy room.
Oh, it's fantastic there. It's really good. We also have a brilliant library there as well. And what a lot of students don't know is that from the library you can actually borrow a laptop. So you can come in and do the courses, and if you don't have a computer at home, you can borrow a laptop from us to use.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, which is really good. On top of that, we also have courses in other areas. So there are the beauty and hairdressing, there's electrotechnology, just going from memory here. I think there's automotive, air conditioning. So there's plenty other areas. And not forgetting our Trenair campus as well. So there you can do rural operations, horticulture, conservation, and there's a statement of attainment in agriculture, chemical skill set. So
there's everything.
We have got it all at TAFE.
Fantastic. But obviously, the more people that enrol, the safer it is that the courses will be run locally.
That's right. We've are really reliant on these enrolments. So get onto the website and have a look, or you can come and pop down to the library. We can enrol you that way, or you can give us a call. So
fantastic. And what's the website address? Do you remember off the top of your head?
It is tafenewsouthwales.edu.au.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for having a chat, Katie. We really appreciate it. And if you are looking at studying in 2023, now's the time to have a look at the TAFE courses. Go online and then enrol to make sure that we can make sure that the TAFE courses are here in the Clarence Valley. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Katie from the TAFE Grafton campus down here at the Farmers Expo, the Farmers Market for the Business Expo. And of course, if you would like to have more details, then go and see the ladies down there at the TAFE marquee here at Market Square this afternoon. Back with more special guests in a moment. Welcome back to the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo here at the Farmers Markets in Market Square this afternoon. Here through till 7 o'clock, and with me right now is the Vice President of the Grafton Chamber of Commerce. He's Justin. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. We usually say good morning.
Yeah, we
it's
do.
Afternoon now.
That's exactly right. And what a beautiful sunny day. The wind's just started to pick up, so I hope the Loving Life marquee doesn't blow away.
Well, it shouldn't. It's quite large, so it should be right.
Yeah.
But no, the breeze is actually quite nice because it's pretty warm today.
It certainly is. Now, yesterday you had the Chamber of Commerce monthly breakfast, but you also had the AGM.
Yeah, so we've started doing our AGMs in our breakfast rather than do a separate meeting because we get a few more people there. So it was well attended. I think we had about 35 or 40 people there, which was good. So we got to introduce our new team and say goodbye to a few members that are leaving us at the end of this year.
Excellent. So you're staying on as vice?
Yep. I'll be staying on as vice for the foreseeable future.
And Natasha's...
she's staying on as president. Yep.
Or Madam President, should we say?
Madam President, correct, yes.
Politically correct?
Yes.
And obviously, it's good to see some new faces on the board too.
Yes, definitely. We've been trying really hard to get some new people on board. It is difficult because it does take up some time. But it is well worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about some other events that are coming up for the Chamber. Obviously, you got this one here today,
Yes.
but you've got one Business After Hours.
So yes, we've got our last Business After Hours, which is the Christmas one, which is going to be free. It'll be at the clock tower across the road there. It'll be on the 7th of December.
All right, so obviously people can jump on the Chamber's website to register for that?
Yep, or just turn up this time because we don't have to pay or anything like that. So if you want to just turn up and see some executives and meet up with some people for a drink.
So it's a freebie?
Yes, it is a freebie.
You might get quite a few members for a freebie.
Well, you might. We might. We'll see how we go.
Fantastic. All right, now obviously you run your own business and small business in the Clarence Valley is very important. Tell us about James and Dare.
So we basically do everything from websites, interior design, graphic design, marquees, anything you can print we basically do, and anything websites we do also. So
yeah, well you do the Loving Life website, which we're very
yes.
appreciative of,
yes.
and it's so easy to sort of maintain. Even I can do it.
Yes, well that's the point.
Yeah, for sure.
Try and make it easy for everyone.
Yeah, and how can people contact James and Dare?
The best way is just through our website, jndc.com.au.
Okay, and do you work solo up there, or do you have a team?
No, it's solo at the moment.
Yep. Fantastic. And I believe you've got another project that's blowing in the wind in the background. Are we allowed to talk about that yet?
Probably not just
Okay.
yet. No, but yeah, look out for it. It'll be in my building.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
All right,
yes.
thanks, mate. Have a great Christmas.
You too. Thank you.
Justin from James and Dare, and also Vice President of the Grafton Chamber of Commerce. Come down and see the team here from the Grafton Chamber through for the next couple of hours, and of course plenty of great store holders down here for the farmers markets. We'll catch up with Deb Novak very shortly here as we broadcast live from the markets across the Clarence Media YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets, and it's okay. The mannequins are okay. The wedding dresses are okay. Shout out to Leah at, of course, the bridal shop here in Grafton. But everyone is A-OK. With me right now is the organiser, of course, of the Grafton Farmers Markets that happen every Thursday down here at Market Square. Deb Novak, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to our watchers.
Our viewers.
Yeah,
Indeed.
viewers.
You normally
yes.
say good morning to our listeners.
Yes, I was going to say listeners, and go, no, it's not listeners, it's viewers.
It's viewers today, right
Yeah.
across on the YouTube channel, which is fantastic. Deb, obviously you're very passionate about our rural landholders, and you're very passionate about organic foods and so forth. Why did you decide to do the farmers markets?
Okay, so going back would be maybe 12 years ago. I was involved with the process in establishing the Yamba Farmers Market. And I was at that time chair of Live Prawn Productions, and we were looking for an extra income stream to give that not-for-profit organisation so that we could generate income for a festival coordinator and just to generate funds for a festival. Anyway, so what happened was I worked with a council staff member who is has a master in business, and he and his wife were passionate advocates around farming and vegetarianism and organic growing, which they have themselves, and they were vegans as well. But what happened was, after working with them and pulling together the framework, the public consultation, business consultation, it was extraordinary, just that volume of growers that I discovered that were in the Clarence Valley. And so that framework was put in place 12 years ago, and they assumed that the Live Prawn Productions were going to take it on, and so did I, actually, as the chair. And lo and behold, they didn't. And so they then council assumed that I would take it on as, in my role as, someone in the community. And I said I couldn't, because I just had too much work on, and I just couldn't do it. So anyway, council put it out to tender, and it's the business model they use now, the tender process, and it comes up for tender every 3 or 4 years. And so now it's been through a tender process 3 times, and I'm that 4th person in charge now. So the legacy's there, and I feel I'm a great custodian of the actual market, because I've been able to grow it from 15 stalls to 45 permanent stalls now. And I've also been able to grow it from the having just 5 locals and 10 outside of the area to now where we've got 30 local Clarence Valley growers, makers and bakers in there, and 15 from outside of the area, which is, from Lismore, Byron, Coffs Harbour, those regions. And the value of having the 3 regions involved in the farmers market, and there is a plan for this, and the reason for doing it is that, if the Clarence Valley has a flood, we can still have produce coming from the north and the south. If the south gets hit with a natural disaster like the hailstorm we had last week, we've still got food from the middle, which is the Clarence, or from the north, vice versa. So there is a strategy behind that. But the reason I took it on was there was no one actually had put their hand up for that tender, and I know I didn't want to see it go. And now just my involvement with Clarence Valley Food Inc. and working with our farmers, and being a part of the Sale Yards Committee in Council, and being a part of a whole range of agri-food economy projects within the Clarence Valley. It really inspires me, because at the end of the day, the most important things we need as humans to sustain life is our food, our water, and the air that we breathe. And we can control the air, we can control the water, but we also need to have a say in our food production. And a lot of people don't realise, or even little don't think about where their food comes from. And but the Clarence Valley is the major food bowl on the Northern Rivers. We produce 65 commodities. There are 1 in 4 businesses in the Clarence Valley is a primary producer, registered farmer, and or a registered business to do with primary production. So whether that primary production is timber, fishing, beef cattle, macadamias, whatever, there is, 1 in 4 businesses is a primary production person. So, and the majority of our gross regional product also comes from that production value as well. Yet it, the rates of farm rates actually contribute $4 million to the local economy, whereas, to council, whereas commercial rates only contribute $3 million. So, there's a lot of work that, goes on behind the scenes to support our farmers. But at the end of the day, our farming community, I don't think they feel that they are supported very well. And I can see that, when, because they're out in outlying areas of the Clarence Valley, away from the urban areas, very hard to do a garbage bin service out that way or go and fix a pothole out there. But recently I was up in the high country visiting one of our local legends, and I just... I said it was the first time I'd actually saw the dirt road was better than the tar road. So that was I was up visiting Freddie Morgan. So I was quite surprised at the interesting shapes of the roads out that way up around the high country in the Clarence Valley.
And there was an interesting post that you put on social media this morning that was talking about what small businesses actually contribute to our actual community.
Look, so from the farmers market perspective, there's a lot of rules behind governing the farmers market, and a weekly farmers market, which is very different to a monthly general market. So the rules are extremely different. So basically there is a whole lot of compliance for our businesses. So they have to, tick council boxes, they have to tick food authority boxes, and then they have to tick market policy boxes as well. So, we have a plastic-free policy, we have a local footprint policy, and all up, what it does actually do is it contributes to what they call the circular economy. So, for instance, in the Yamba Farmers and Producers Market, I've ascertained we contribute between $3 and $4 million into the local economy. So that's the local circular economy. So all our primary producers are using, petrol, using accountants, using technology, using fertilizers, using, all these value adds to their business to help them make their business great. And that's so important that these businesses are, supported and shop locally so that, our business remains strong. And, there's no greater evidence to see what happened during the pandemic when we were in full lockdown, where ComSec actually did a study and did a comparison on Byron Bay's economy and Grafton's economy. And Grafton's economy stayed just flatlining. It didn't go up, didn't go down, there wasn't a major economic impact. In Byron's Bay's economy, it collapsed because they've put all their eggs into the tourism basket, nothing else. So that's why there was nothing there to sustain them. Whereas, for our economy, it's our main industries of seafood, beef, timber, dairy and sugarcane, they are heritage industries. They've been here for 150 years. These industries have survived drought, they've survived multitudes of drugs, they've survived going from manual labour to mechanical labour, now to digital labour, moving into AI. So, our farmers have clearly demonstrated their level of flexibility, and that overused word now, resilience, because it just, they just get on with it, and they are just such salt of the earth people. They know they don't get help from anybody else. They just get in and do it. They roll their sleeves up, and you have to be in awe of people who are our farming community, because they are our stalwarts. They are the ones who we bounce around, and we need them more than anything because they provide our food.
It's interesting. I was in Grafton 25 years ago. I think you were working at the Daily Examiner then, because you took my
Yes, that's
my
right. I
wedding
took your
photos.
wedding photos.
And the thing is, I remember, especially down around the Palmer's Island area, where it used to be all sugarcane.
Yeah.
And if you go down there now on the way to Yamba, it's macadamia.
Well, no, actually, what it is, when you drive when you turn off the Harbour Bridge, you will actually be driving through mixed farming. So mixed farming, you've got macadamia on one side, and I know where you're talking about, and then on the other side you've got tea tree.
Oh, there you go.
And then on the other side you've actually got sugarcane, and then a little bit further up you've actually got cattle. So in 1 kilometre stretch, what the farmers have learned is not to put all their eggs into one basket, and to diversify, so that way they've got an income.
Tell me, I mean, you're a councillor with Clarence Valley Council. You've been on there. This is your second term.
Yes.
That you're on there, and you're very passionate about the lower river, but also
Upper
obviously
river, of
Upper
course,
River as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But when it came to the floods, and people were cut off down at Yamba, has enough been put into place now that should we get another downpour, should we get another influx of water, has enough been done to make sure that people down in Yamba can survive?
No, not. And look, and really, that's not just about government having that conversation. That's about business having that conversation. And what we've got is council is enabled around their resilience framework, but community and business aren't. And we haven't had that conversation yet. So community needs to reevaluate what they're doing in time of a natural disaster, and it doesn't just have to be a flood. It can be a major storm that creates a supply chain interruption. But just as important as businesses need to identify and think about having a plan about their supply chain interruption, because if we've got our supply chains like on a logistic level, if they're coming, say, and we'll talk about supermarkets, not the farmers market, because the farmers markets weren't actually impacted that much. We've never had a problem with supply chain or supply chain interruptions yet. And but what happened was the truck system that's used to deliver food to our major supermarkets, it's going from A to B along the M1, and they call that delivery system just in time. And just in time delivery system does not like interruption. So what happens, it's going up and down the M1, and if there's, say, a flood like what happened earlier in this year in Yamba and Iluka and Maclean, where they were cut off for 6 days, the trucks couldn't get in there, They could get into Maclean, but they couldn't get out. But the thing is, there was no cold storage facility to hold any cold storage freight. So the trucks had to keep going, right? So you can't just rely on SES to be part of that supply chain delivering milk or what have you, because it's not efficient. It's we can come up with a better way to do that, and I explained to one of the supermarkets in Yamba that, your supply chain can be delivered to the Grafton Airport. Here's the phone number of the helicopter service that I use, and they can do a cargo lift. They've got the cargo nets. They can lift from Grafton Airport, and they can deliver into Yamba for you if you don't want an interruption. That's your best way around it. They didn't even know they could do that, and I went, of course you can do that, But unfortunately, some of those decisions are made in Brisbane and Sydney. They're not made at a local level. So that's where a lot of the issues happen. And once people need to actually be able to read a weather map. They need to be able to, as a part of their preparation, their plan, what are you going to do? You're going to have UHD milk in the cupboard, and, if we're going to be cut off for 6 days, what's that meal system look like? If we lose power for 6 days, what does that look like? What have you got in the cupboard? I've got a number of friends who've always said to me, if the world goes pear-shaped, we're coming to live with you.
Because you're prepared.
Because I'm prepared.
Were you a Girl Guide or a Boy Scout?
No, I just had a lot of common sense and family, So I just always felt that, you know, and look, and I'm one for having things in the cupboard, you know, and you know, I've worked as a cook in a health food shop before, so I know how to make vegetarian meals taste like meat, and you know, all that sort of stuff, which you don't actually need refrigeration to make, you know, those things, you know, rissoles and burgers and that sort of thing. But you know, it's even knowing how to cook actually helps, because you can't
Without electricity, maybe.
Without electricity. Well, I actually have a gas burner, so for that reason.
But gas isn't becoming a short supply now.
Oh, I know. Well, I also am pretty good at lighting a good fire as well.
Right, well, there
so,
you go. You've got all
I've
bases
got all
covered.
bases covered.
So, Clarence Valley, if you need to actually go somewhere, if there's a disaster, just look up Deb Novak and hope that she's actually out of Yamba at the time.
yeah. But you catch a boat down or what have you. But no, and look, you know, council's prepared for their infrastructure and their staff, and you know, they've got all that sorted, and you know, we've invested $1 million into preparing council, but community and business needs to have a conversation yet. So I'll be starting that conversation in the not too distant future, and looking at what we can do. There's a new fund that's just been announced. It's about preparing community to be resilient and preparing, you know, for natural disasters. But you know, we had I'm chair of the Clarence Valley Sale Yards Committee, the regional Sale Yards Committee, and we had a meeting this morning, and so we're, you know, looking at, you know, assets that, you know, can act as these triage points for evacuation of not just humans but livestock as well. So this year I think we triaged around 10,000 head of cattle.
Wow.
Through the sale yards in the February, March, April floods.
And I guess the community don't realise that. They don't realise what's actually going on. I mean, that's unbelievable work.
And that wasn't council doing that. That was the farmers doing that, and the stock and station agents who were managing that triage centre. So, you know, it's so important that, you know, like a lot of our livestock have been moved off the low country and moved into high country now, because the El Nino, they say, is going to hit till March next year. So the farmers are a bit more prepared. And this time around, it was a completely different conversation because of the completion of the M1. And so they didn't know what was going to happen. Well, they thought the same was going to happen, but it didn't. It was very different flooding. And whereas Upper Clarence, so Grafton up, you know, it didn't have the impacts. Whereas in the Lower River, a lot of severely impacted farmers down there, you know, sugarcane, cattle producers, you know, a lot of houses down around Goodwood Island, and the back areas there had floodwaters in them for the first time in 130 years.
Wow.
So, you know, I mean, you can't compete, you know, and we're not going to compete with the devastation that happened in Lismore, but we did have some very big areas that were devastated here. It's just, you know, that just hasn't hit the news.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing I just want to quickly talk to you about is council. You've got a monthly council meeting coming up next week. Probably the hot topic is the Grafton pool.
That's right.
It's obviously, you know, one of those things that, you know, the previous council, correct me if I'm wrong please, but the previous council before you were re-elected this time sat on it for a little while and wanted to go and get grants. Then obviously it's become a problem for the new council. And the whole process of picking which projects they should do first, the priority wasn't the pool, but now it's become an urgent matter. Is that the timeline right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm going to correct you. Basically, and it's how council is with all of their assets. So, and I actually said this this morning at the Sale Yards meeting. The Clarence Valley local government area is a very old area, right? So, you know, we were colonised in the 1835. So we've been around for about 175 years. So our infrastructure is very old. And, you know, that's Maclean. Yama's got some old infrastructure, but it's not as old as what Grafton is. And because this was the main area. So what's happened over the years, you know, you have all these renewal, but renewal doesn't actually happen until it's broken, right? And unfortunately for us, we've got a lot of things breaking at the same time, which, you know, takes away or draws either our knowledge, or draws, you know, our finances as well, or draws our time. But at this time, you know, all our assets are being renewed, and whenever we were doing a renewal, we always had to have a master plan in place anyway. And at the end of the day, let's face it, you know, we may have master plans on the table and shovel-ready projects, but you know, we don't get given a lot of money from state and federal government because we are a safe seat, right? So, you know, for instance, in the last state election, I think it was the last one, where there was the Greens were becoming a major threat to the National Party there. The day before the election, the Nationals actually gave $20 million for a new high school up there, and that was done with no community consultation because they could see that the vote was a major swinging vote, which had been a safe seat like this place for so long. So now the Nationals and the coalition government invest a lot of time and opportunity to try and pull that back from Ballina. That's why they try and, you know, tempt them back with, you know, throwing money here, throwing money there. So, I mean, rightly so, but the Clarence Valley is a safe seat. It's a rock solid safe seat. So, you know, it can be passed over for a lot of grants. So, you know, the previous council were right in what they've done. You know, they started the process. They had a lot of, like you said, a lot of competing projects on the table, and other projects where the asset was broken. So it's about what needs to be fixed first.
Sure.
And council, I don't think councils, well, it's not that it's council's role to save money, but we have paid back a lot of debt in the past 6 years, and I think it's about $7 million we've actually paid down our debt. So previous councils have accrued a lot of debt, so we actually have to pay that off.
Sure.
Rather than putting money in the bank. And normally what happens is council will have these shovel-ready projects ready to go for state and federal government to throw money at. So that's how all councils work. You know, Richmond Valley Council does a lot better job of it than Clarence Valley Council. They are very, very good at having a full range of community consultation and a full range of shovel-ready projects on the table, and that's why they actually do get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this time we actually have quite a few shovel-ready projects on the table, like even the sales yard, the pool, a few other, you know, interesting projects. McLean Cultural Centre, which is a big ticket item. You know, those things. You know, we're ready this time for anybody who's running for state to throw money at these projects.
And given the fact now that we obviously our current member Chris Galaptis is retiring, and we've got a new candidate for the Nationals.
Yes.
Do you think there will be money thrown because they're not sure what the support's going to be like for the Nationals candidate Richard Williamson, or for Labor, or for Independents, or for the Greens?
I don't think the money won't come. That commitment to promises won't come until they start polling to find out how their candidate's going. If they find that it's going to be neck to neck, you'll see all guns out blazing, right?
It's interesting you say that $20 million was given to Ballina. I had a conversation with our current state member this morning on the radio, and I asked him where the $20 million went that was promised by John Barilaro out the front of the Grafton Base Hospital before the last state election. Our current state member has no idea, neither does Bronnie Taylor, the actual Regional Health Minister. Chris Galaptis then said to me on air that he thinks that the actual money that was promised wasn't actually for the Grafton Base Hospital, but it was actually for the region. Now that you say the $20 million went to Ballina, I think I have solved the puzzle. So the money has actually gone to Ballina, not Grafton.
Yeah, exactly. So again, and you might want to check that, because that was for the last, I'm thinking it was the last state election, because I was quite surprised, because I actually heard the interview, because the teachers were shocked that, they were getting a new high school. They weren't, they said no one's talked to us about this at all, and then all of a sudden we've got $20 million the day before the election for a brand new high school at Southern Cross.
And that's not pork barrelling,
no,
is it?
No, that's not pork barrelling.
No, not at all.
But it's just interesting, and this is really when it comes time to vote, and I think this time around, people, they are so jaded by politics. That's what scares me, and it's so unfortunate. I mean, and rightly so, because there's some real behavioural issues there, especially when what you see with the Me Too movement, even going through our parliament, the inquiry we've had about the behaviour in there as well. Council, local government has a code of behaviour. You know, we simply, if we behaved like they do in parliament, we would be 3 strikes and you are not.
Could you imagine it? Could you imagine in the council chambers? I think the mayor would have a heart attack.
The table.
Gloves are off.
And that's it. Well, our code of conduct actually says we are not allowed to, you know, swear, intimidate, harass, bully, you know, threaten, you know, physically harm or do anything like that. We're just simply not allowed to do that. But, you know, it's very, you know, I just think people maybe this time around need to think about voting what's in the best interest of the Clarence Valley, not what's in the best interest of the political party, because the political parties need an absolute shake-up. They need to come back and go, well, who are you actually representing? You are representing one section of the community, not the whole community. And you know, all parties are all guilty of behavioural issues where, you know, they've been allowed to, you know, behave in a really bad way, and there's nothing there that's pulled them back except someone taking them to court, you know, or if they've been found out. So that's the unfortunate thing. So, you know, people need to think really carefully about who they're voting for this time, and who's going to give them the best value, and actually fight for them in you know, state government.
I think this current state election that's coming up in March next year, given the fact that we have a new candidate for the Nationals, we've got a local Labor candidate from this area this time round. We don't know, obviously, if there's any independents running at this stage, but you know, we're waiting on the Greens. I know that Deputy Mayor Greg Clancy is waiting for the count to be finished, and then he'll know whether or not he's been pre-selected. I think this time round it's going to be close.
Well, I think so, and I hope so, because I think people out there, you know, I'm not sure if they're looking for change, but they're looking for behavioural change, and someone they can believe in, to be honest, and someone that, you know, saying I'm just going to go in and, you know, fight. I mean, you really want people who've had runs on the board, not just, you know, people who are going to, you know, talk the talk. You want people who've actually already walked the walk, and, you know, if you look at evidence-based of what people have already done, rather than just making shallow promises.
It's going to be very interesting.
Very interesting indeed.
I would be very happy to see money coming from both major parties. Promises made. So long as we can keep those particular promises to account, because it, if you look at the Grafton-based hospital, it took a lot of community badgering. And I was one of those badgers to bring the current government to account, because the promise was made that they would start before the next state election.
So I think now that you've raised that around the hospital, so you're clearly aware that Grafton lost its city status a couple of years ago, and that was due in part when the coalition government decided to do an audit on the region as a part of their regional plan. Lismore lost theirs as well, but Lismore went in and fought for theirs. Their mayor went in and fought for theirs.
Who was the mayor at the time?
So Richie was the mayor here.
And he's a National Party candidate.
Yes, and also Chris was the parliamentary secretary at the time as well. So his photo's actually in the book, right, where it's actually been, you know, where we lost our status. I believe, and I've already spoken to the minister about this and asked them, because the draft is out again, and the review of that North Coast Regional Plan has just gone through the process of review and draft, and there is a new criteria to become a city. Now, they are reviewing it again because of what's happened in Lismore. So I've seen the draft, and I've sent a letter off to the minister and said, I believe we fit the criteria to have a city, to be a city, named a city. Council made a submission to the review and to say, hey, we believe we fit the criteria. And I got a letter back from the minister the other day, and they said, well, no, we don't believe you actually fit the criteria. And I believe the only reason we don't fit the criteria is because the money hasn't been promised about the hospital. So
that's a big call.
It is a big call, because we have the educational facility, we have Australia's largest jail, we have a regional gallery, we have all this infrastructure here, which we all tick the criteria, and I believe it's actually the fact that we don't have a hospital that is of the same calibre as Lismore and Coffs Harbour sitting. We were promised that money and they haven't delivered that. So I believe that's the one thing that's stopping us from becoming a city again.
So if they promised us, well, they have promised us 264 million.
Yes.
But it's not in the current budget.
Well.
So anything could happen come March 2023.
Oh, exactly. But if they, why wouldn't you not honour that promise? When how many times have they made it? It's like, I get that a lot of that money may have been, gone to other,
Well, we've had a pandemic.
Well, a pandemic, exactly. We've had a pandemic, but that doesn't stop the people behind the scenes in government, from doing their work. And, the people of the Clarence Valley, they have waited long enough to have a hospital upgrade, and they deserve it.
Well, I was at a meeting last night and they were talking about the MRI machine at the hospital. There's no MRI machine at Grafton Base Hospital.
That's outrageous.
Or Coffs Harbour.
That is outrageous.
So if you're on your deathbed and you've got to have an MRI...
You've got to be either taken up by a helicopter or by ambulance. And, I'm the, and I probably should disclose, I'm the patron of the Grafton Base Hospital Women Hospital Auxiliary. And you look at, those... people there who do an extraordinary job in fundraising for the hospital, the same as Maclean District Hospital, their team, the auxiliary team. It just boggles my mind that we expect community to fundraise to pay for instruments for a hospital. Like, I've recently spent a week in hospital in Grafton. It was extraordinary service there. I spent a couple of days in Maclean Hospital, and even the whole mental health aspect of presenting at our hospitals. If there is, if they need to, go to, if they're diagnosed or as having a major issue, or in absolute crisis, they have to be sent to Lismore. That is simply outrageous. That we've got, why haven't we got that here? What makes us different? Is it because we are a safe seat? Are the people, we're just going to be, treated badly again? So I just think that, we need to, the political parties actually need to really start paying attention to the needs of the Clarence Valley and consider, giving us our city status back, but based on the criteria, which, really at the end of the day, I believe we tick those boxes.
Yeah, it'd be great if we did get it back. I think, I remember 26 years ago when I was here, it was the city of Grafton.
Yes,
the Jacaranda city. It's certainly what I think we deserve as a community.
Yeah, but, at the end of the day, times change, and Grafton got its city status back in 1880 because it had a cathedral. Lismore got its city status, I think it was in 1950, based on its population. So, government changes constantly changes the criteria. So when we get our city status back, what that means is we are automatically eligible for funding that we don't have to go fighting for.
Talk to me about the cathedral situation. Why? I thought we do have two cathedrals here.
Yeah, but they changed the criteria for becoming a city. So, in the late 1800s, the criteria to become a city is you had to have a cathedral.
Okay.
Then they changed it to, in the 1940s, 1950s, to become a city, you had to have a population number. Now it's ticking the boxes of, so you need to have high unemployment, you need to have cultural activities, you need to have sporting activities, you need to have educational activities. Even if we built, if you look at the North Coast Regional Plan, and I would recommend everybody to look at that plan, because the coalition government's already told us, how we're going to generate economic activity in our region, and that's through the mental health economy, it's through the justice economy, and it's through the agri-food economy as well, and the aged care economy. They're the four pillars of what's going to drive economic activity here in the Clarence Valley. And in driving that, if we can tick all those boxes, that should ensure that, we have regain our city status.
All right, we'll have to watch that one with
Definitely
great
watch that space.
interest. The other thing I want to quickly talk to you about, you mentioned about the jail. We've got Australia's
Yes.
largest privately run jail.
Yes.
Obviously, you know, it's a big area out there, but they don't pay rates. And it's about is it $1 million or $1 billion in rates that council loses out because they don't pay anything?
I can't really answer that question for you because that is an operational matter.
You're not passing the buck, are you?
No, I'm not.
No?
Look, to be honest,
Because
are
they're
you
using-
talking about water rates or general rates?
General rates. They're using the actual figures from the jail
Yeah.
for IPART to actually have the rate pegging.
Yes. So interestingly enough, if you're going to, say why isn't the jail paying rates, you might want to ask the churches that as well because they don't pay rates either. So there's a whole lot of infrastructure out there that don't pay rates. Schools don't pay rates. Okay, so do you want to really open up that can of worms?
Well, is council in debt? Are they paying all their bills on time?
Yeah, of course, because we're paying debt, our debt down. Like I said, that's actually an operational matter.
Yes,
I
of
haven't
course.
heard anything myself, but I wouldn't know that unless a business who did work for council came and said to me, "Hey, I haven't been paid." Blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm suggesting too, if that is the case, then they contact a councillor or they contact the general manager and say, hey, we haven't been paid. Can you please explain? If that's the case.
Okay, all right. Tuesday's council meeting is going to be a very interesting one. I know the pool's back on the
Yes,
agenda.
the pool's back on the agenda.
Hopefully some movement can happen with the pool this month. I know
Yes.
that the Mayor promised back in September on my breakfast radio program tenders were going out by the end of that week.
Yes.
Tenders haven't gone out by the end of that week.
Right. So all will be revealed, I'm sure. So
Don't look at the business papers right now because it's blank.
yeah, and it's blank for a reason because it's been written in invisible ink. So we just need to make sure you got your lemon juice ready on Tuesday.
Deb, lovely chatting to you. We could talk for hours. There is so
Thank
much
you.
that we could talk about.
There is so much we could talk
and
about.
I think, we are looking at doing a Clarence Media TV program.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
You'll be our first guest.
Oh, fantastic. I would love
that.
that.
Will fill the 3-hour time slot. Appreciate your
Fantastic.
time. Deb Novak, our guest this afternoon here at the Farmers Markets and the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. Back with more soon. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets and the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Business Expo 2022 down here at Market Square. The lovely Leah joins us now from Lasting Impressions Bridal. Hello.
Hi, Damien.
I love your dress.
I know, isn't it gorgeous?
I'm very jealous. Have you got one my size?
It's very swishy.
Yeah.
It's very swishy. I'm sure I could track one down in your size.
You think so?
Would you like the black and white, or would you prefer a dusty pink?
A dusty pink for sure. Yeah, I think that would be a lot better. So, turn a few heads in town.
It would.
Yeah.
would.
We are a very inclusive community these days.
Yes.
So anything is possible. To always come out of the closet.
Definitely.
Yeah. Tell me about lasting impressions.
Okay, so Lasting Impressions has been in Grafton for 20 years now.
Is that right?
Yes. 20
Wow.
years. And so I'm in the main street, almost in the middle of the main street, and we've got bridal wear, formal wear, mother of the bride, do men's suit hire for the blokes if they don't want to dress.
Yeah.
Some flower girl and page boy outfits as well, jewellery,
Everything.
all the accessories.
Now, obviously, you don't just
Crazy.
do you just don't do bridal, but you do for school formals as well.
Yes, it's been a very busy season. I think there might have been a lot of weddings happen that have been postponed for the last couple of years.
Okay.
Welcome back. I can hear you now.
So what do we do?
We'll
Do we start
We'll
again?
start again. We'll start again. But that's okay. We won't go down the path of me having a hot pink dress. But anyway, we'll talk about lasting impressions.
Okay.
Because I'm glad that wasn't. Well, my microphone was on, wasn't it? So they heard me. Oh, okay. I'm in trouble anyway. But so lasting impressions have been here for 20 years.
Yes.
In the main street, and you do
Yes.
bridal wear, but also you were saying about the.
Yes, so bridal and formal wear, men's suit hire, accessories like jewellery and veils and just basically anything for special occasion.
Yeah.
I think this dress personally I love. I think it would have been great for the races. Unfortunately it arrived at the end of July. So it just missed the races for this
Yeah.
year, but people can always get in early for next year.
Absolutely.
So
So do you own that dress, or is that just like a demonstration for today?
I guess it's a sample dress.
Okay.
That if I had somewhere special to go, I might wear
Well,
it.
you might go on a hot date one night.
So yeah, who
Never know.
knows? You never know.
Stranger things have happened.
Very strange.
So tell me about your Deb wear as well, because there's been lots of
Yes,
graduations
so
and Debs.
the Debs are generally held earlier in the year, generally year 11, and they're quite popular with the year 11 girls. And we've got quite an excellent range of Deb wear, generally starting from about $200. Our gowns don't go particularly expensive, being a regional area, so we're quite reasonable with our Deb and our bridal prices. School formals have just finished. Grafton High was last night. That's it for the school formals, I think, for this year. So, it's been a really busy season because I think a lot of brides that cancelled the last 2 years with COVID, or postponed rather, happened this year because I've had more alterations to do than I've ever done before.
Is that because people have eaten too much over COVID, or they've lost weight over COVID?
Oh, look, there's been a little bit of that, but in general, most dresses are at the least too long.
Yep.
They make the dresses long so that even tall girls can buy off the rack, because it's easier to shorten something than make it longer.
Very true.
So most things generally at least need a hem.
And what hours are you open over there at Lasting Impressions?
Okay, so I'm 10 till 5 weekdays and Saturday morning, but we're quite happy to do after hours appointments if those times don't suit. I'm quite flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously you don't just service those in Grafton; you can service those outside of Grafton.
Yesterday I had a girl come over from Glen Innes. She'd ordered a formal dress a couple of weeks ago and we had to wait for it to come in. She came yesterday, and because it was Glen Innes and her formals this weekend, thankfully it only needed a hem, so I was able to hem it so that she didn't have to come back again another day. So she came in, had her fitting, went off, had lunch and a coffee and so on. Came back, picked up a dress.
And done.
So Glen Innes, Armidale, I've had people coming from Casino and Lismore as well, Coffs Harbour as well.
Fantastic.
So just around the region.
And the men aren't forgotten either.
Men's suit hire, so do a few men's suit hires, mainly for weddings, but some of the school formal boys also came in
to get suits. I do Deb suit hire as well when I'm doing the Deb balls.
Fantastic. Now, if people can't get in town or they can't get to you when you open, have you got a website?
I do have a website, so it's just graftonbridal.com.au, and I've also got Facebook, Instagram. I'm not very good on I'm really not as good as at keeping up to date my social pages as I should be. I do try. Lately, I've just been so busy that I really haven't been keeping up with that side of
But
things.
there's nothing like face-to-face personal service.
There's
so come
nothing
and
like
see you.
face-to-face. So yeah, just come in and see me, have some fun, try on some dresses, even if you want to, Damien.
No, I
But
won't.
it's a pretty relaxed atmosphere because my kids came to work with me from the time they were a week old. I've always had like a toy box there, and so even when you've got kids, you can bring them in. We've got a toy box to help keep them amused. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, have a great afternoon. Thank you for coming
Yes,
down.
you too.
And I'm glad that your mannequins are okay because we had a little bit of an accident with the marquee.
Oh, the wind keeps sort of getting up
did.
a bit and getting away on marquees and mannequins.
But the mannequins are okay. They're all safe.
Yes,
All
they
right.
are.
Thank you for coming, having a chat.
Okay, thanks,
Leah
Damien.
from Our Lasting Impressions, our guest this afternoon down here at the Farmers Markets for the 2022 Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. We've got some more special guests coming up very soon, right across the Clarence Valley and right across the world on the Clarence Media YouTube channel. And welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets here at Market Square. Of course, the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. With me right now is the man of the moment from the Jacaranda Festival, the festival manager, Mark Blackadder. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David.
I tell you what, this is fantastic. I mean, this is probably not your worst nightmare because you spent so many days here over the last couple of months, but it's still beautiful jacarandas in the park.
One of my favourite parks in the world, Damo. This
Yeah.
Sea Park. We can't deny that the council have done an amazing job maintaining them, and they're just spectacular still,
Yeah, absolutely.
even after the storm.
How did you find the Jacaranda Festival this year? How did it compare to obviously the previous year because we had COVID, but over the years that you've been here?
The last 2 years were very tough, Damo. Obviously 2020 we had to cancel, and last year we had to move and put a fence line up and have COVID restrictions with ticketing. So it's certainly, yeah, it was amazing to be able to go back to some normality and get to see the crowds come to town.
Yeah.
It was just wonderful to see the support of all the visitors and spending money in our community.
And so the visitor numbers were up?
By far, Damo.
Yeah.
We can't give a final figure. We'll never be able to know the final figure, but just going by accommodation and the feedback from the restaurants and cafes has just been phenomenal.
Yeah,
So,
which is great. And I guess the thing is, I mean, the festival is run by volunteers. Obviously, you're the festival manager, but you've got a band of volunteers behind you to make it go smoothly. Next Thursday at the GDSC, you've got a very special night that you want community feedback. You want both constructive and positive and negative feedback.
Exactly, Damo. We have approximately 90 members with the festival, and 8 of those members are the executive committee, who I work for, and a very, very proactive committee. I couldn't wish to work for 8 amazing people like them. And times have changed. Like, it is very much need to be community driven. So without community feedback and community information of what people want and what they want to see and what they want to do during the festival, we can't move forward. So to make it bigger and better, we need the community involvement, and constructive criticism is amazing, but ideas for the future are even more amazing.
Yeah, and this is where you want people to not go on social media and be keyboard warriors. You want them to come forward and actually either say it in person or send you an email.
Oh, exactly, Damo. Like, you've got many options. Send us an email if you're happy to notify who you are. There's also an online link on Facebook at the moment, and we'll really promote that next Thursday for people that want to remain anonymous and feedback ideas or constructive criticism. They're more than welcome, but it doesn't go anywhere when you just keep on watering on a Facebook post, because we literally sometimes don't even see them. But or talking in the community, come straight to us. If you've got an idea or a very good something that you feel didn't go right, please, we're totally open to speaking to you or getting your constructive feedback through that online link.
Yeah, and next Thursday you've also got a very special part of the evening is announcing some winners.
Yes, Damo, Findex stepped up and they went all out with the prize money for Go Purple. So we've got the Window Display Award, the Go Purple Award and the Rose Bowl to announce. We've also got the Floats, who is Newcastle Permanent. So Jossie's sitting over there. We're very proud that Newcastle Permanent's on board with the sponsorship of the floats. So we'll announce the float winners, and we've also got the Community Spot It competition. So the local community members of that to draw out and win that as well on the night.
And so do you get any time off between now and the new year, or has planning already started for 2023?
Planning's well and truly already started, Damo. I was actually writing a grant this afternoon to get our amazing guest of honour, who I can't announce yet, for next year.
Oh,
but
down.
It's we'll certainly give you the exclusive on that, hopefully before end of year. But it's certainly, we're most likely planning 18 months out towards the next festival. So it's really important that we get the right acts here, and it's a lot of negotiation because you've got a lot of money being put forward for acts, but we've got an amazing amount of sponsorship coming forward now, and thanks to Wesley Mission, they've changed the game of our festival in that respect as well.
And I think by having Brooke and Adam here for the Jacker Thursday night and having it as a free community concert, I mean, that really made it inclusive, didn't it? For those that are less fortunate, they can't afford the big ticket items.
Exactly, Damo, and that's our goal moving forward, that basically the acts come, they aren't free. We're certainly paying big dollars for these acts to come to town, but our whole idea is supplying the community with free entertainment and really coming out, getting together, socialising. Obviously, we've all been locked in our houses for 2 years, so it's just lovely to come out and be a community again and enjoy this entertainment that we're supplying.
For sure. Now, just put your other hat on, the New School of Arts. You're off to a meeting right now.
New School of Arts tonight, yes. So I work in the mental health sector of New School of Arts over there, but there's some fantastic employment opportunities with New School of Arts in flood recovery at the moment, also in our youth team and in our childhood centre team, and also reception as well. So if you're interested, 5:30 this afternoon over at New School of Arts, please pop in and you'll see some great information about some great careers opportunities, but also volunteer. If you want to volunteer in the community, come on board with New School of Arts, because we have an endless amount of jobs available that people can get involved with for sure.
Fantastic. Well, keep up the good work and we'll see you next Thursday.
Thanks so much, Damo.
Mark Blackadder, the Festival Manager for the Grafton Jacaranda Festival. Festival, don't forget next Thursday from 6 o'clock at the GDSC upstairs in that very special room. You can have the bar will be open and food will be available from the bistro downstairs as well. We are live on location through the Clarence Media YouTube channel here at Market Square. It's the 2022 Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo here at the Farmers Markets. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets and the 2022 Grafton Chamber of Commerce Business Expo down here at Market Square. And I tell you what, we have got lots of special guests that have come down, and my mate Connor, the balloon twister, joins me. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, Damien. How are you?
I am terrific, mate. Now, we met down at the animal hospital a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you were doing all the balloon twisting down there.
Oh, yes, I do.
And now tell me how you got into that.
Well, I've got a menu here in my bag. Hold on to mine, please.
We'll just let Connor grab
Oops,
that.
I left it in the car.
Oh, you know. That's okay. That's
Okay.
Right. Did you do all sorts of balloon
Oh, yes. Okay, I could do a dog,
Yes.
a sword, a fish,
Yep.
a teddy bear,
Yes.
a cat,
Wow.
a rabbit,
Wow.
and a love heart.
Fantastic.
Swords and any types of swords. I can make a flower, any types of flower. I can do a duck,
Quack,
a
quack.
fancy one,
Yeah.
and I could do a shield and some weapons and
Wow.
any balloons that I want.
That's fantastic. Now, how did you learn? Did you watch a YouTube channel? Or
Yes, I do.
Is that how you did it?
Yes, his name is Michael Floyd, the balloon twister,
Right.
on YouTube.
Okay, and that's how you got into it.
Yeah, I do.
And tell me, do you have to blow the balloons up yourself?
No, I do it with my pump.
Right. Okay. So you pump the balloons and then you
Yeah, I
twist them.
do.
Fantastic. Now I know that we saw you at a couple of different events, but you're going to be at
Yeah.
Mac Happy Day on
Yes,
Saturday.
at Mac Happy Day on this Saturday.
You beauty.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I will do balloon performance on this Saturday at Mac Happy's at McDonald's. So, if you want to book in for special occasions, you telephone 042 991 9381. So you don't want to miss out. If I ran out of my pamphlets, I'll photocopy and I could hang them out. So don't panic. So I'll be on the case. So behave well. And let me tell you about one of my disabilities. I'm autistic, and I ask permissions to take photos of their talents and any type of things. And I liked being tickles because tickles helps me to calm down and relax, but it can't be inappropriate in public because some people might get uncomfortable and they could get into trouble, but only I could do tickle massage in Massage Central. I go to massage every once a week, and that's why I do.
All right. I want you to do me a favour. Can you look down the barrel of that camera and say, "G'day Homer, g'day Pebbles. We'll see you Saturday."
G'day everybody, I'll see you on this Saturday at Mac Happy's.
Fantastic. Thank you, mate. Thank you for coming along. It was nice that you walked past.
Oh,
and
thank you.
we had a
I
bit of a chat.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. We'll see you Saturday.
You too. I'll see you on this Saturday for my speech again.
Absolutely.
Okay, bye everyone. See you next time.
All right, we are down here, of course, at Mac. Not Mac Happy Day just yet, but it is a Mac Happy Day because we are pretty happy down here at the Grafton Business Expo, and we'll come back very shortly. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Market and the 2022 Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo, Small Business Month here across the Clarence Valley, and we're live, of course, on Clarence Media's YouTube channel. Do you know about Clarence Media? Well, let me tell you a little bit about Clarence Media. Clarence Media was established a couple of years ago, and the great thing about Clarence Media, they do so many different things. You may recall the actual games of rugby league being streamed live through Active Line TV on YouTube for the Grafton Ghosts. Of course, throughout the season of 2022, you saw all the games. Then, of course, the final series of Group 2 and that fantastic game of the grand final against the Axemen down at Arara. That was live streamed, and I'll tell you what, the number of views was sensational. Then, of course, Clarence Media and Active Line TV team teamed up with us here at Loving Life, and we went to the hockey, and we did the hockey grand final day, and that was an absolute blast doing that live on the radio, but also live on YouTube. And then we decided to do something a little bit different, and that was the Jacaranda Float Procession. We did that, of course, only a couple of weeks ago, and 3,000 views already, so a huge thank you for doing that as well. And of course, the Jacaranda Basketball Carnival that was held, and so many teams from outside of Grafton were there, and we live streamed that on Active Line YouTube TV as well. So if you belong to a not-for-profit organisation, a sporting club, you'd like to have your sport live streamed and maybe even commentated, then get in contact with Clarence Media or Loving Life, and you could even, if you're a small business, advertise. Could you imagine if your message was actually streamed to 3,000 viewers, like it was, of course, for the Jacaranda Float Procession? How many people would see your business? So if you are a small business and you'd like to advertise, get in contact with Leah on 0412 137 286, 0412 137 286, or contact us at Loving Life and we can put you in touch with Clarence Media, a great organisation based here in Grafton, but can go anywhere. They can even do your wedding. Maybe you've got a wedding coming up and you've got some family and friends who can't be there, but you'd like to live stream that on YouTube, you can do that. Or even if someone that you love has passed away, but their relatives can't make it to the Clarence Valley, you can also live stream their funeral. Or unfortunately, if things aren't going well for you and you'd like to record a special message for your family, that can be arranged as well. So get in contact with Clarence Media. We've got to thank Emma and Leah and the team from Clarence Media. Of course, they're down here today as well, doing this live YouTube broadcast for the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. So that number again, if you'd like to advertise or get in contact with Clarence Media, 0412 137 286. We'll come back and wrap up shortly here on Clarence Media YouTube, supported by 103.1. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets and the Grafton Chamber of Commerce 2022 Small Business Month Expo down here at Market Square. And we're sort of winding up in the next hour or so. But tomorrow is a very special day, and you can see that I've got Deb Novak, the organiser, of course, of the Farmers Markets, with me once again. And Deb, tomorrow is a very special day on our calendar.
It is. So actually it's the Australian calendar, and it's National Ag Day tomorrow, where we, community and people across Australia celebrate those who grow our food, make our food and grow our fibre. So tomorrow it's an annual event. It's actually celebrated worldwide in other times of the year, but for Australia it's actually the 18th of November. And so basically what I'm asking people to do tomorrow on National Ag Day is to stop and think about where does your food come from, and who grows it, and what happens to that food when it's grown. So we've got 65 commodities here produced here in the Clarence Valley. Majority of that is actually exported out of the area. So we've got beef. Our beef producers contribute $53 million to the local economy here. We've got macadamias, we've got tea tree, we've got blueberries, we've got strawberries, we've got hay, and we've got seafood, and we've got sugar. All these people, all these industries employ people, and then they've got all these extra services on top of that, which we call the circular economy. So these are the things that really are important for us to think as a community. How can we support local food production? What's that local food production look like? Is it chemical free? Is it organic? Is it regenerative farming? So the best way to find and connect with your local farmers is actually through a farmers market, but a lot of these other producers actually do major commercial growing, and their product is exported out of the Clarence Valley and also overseas for that matter. So a lot of our seafood is exported over to Vietnam and across Australia. We've got our seafood industry is going through massive changes at the moment because a new online trading system is now taking place, and it began a month ago, where fishermen can actually put their catch online and auction it online, bypassing some other facilities. So the food industry, agri-food economy is going through major changes at the moment, and it's in the digital uptake and artificial intelligence. So farmers are having to adapt, workers are having to adapt, and a number of our high schools celebrate and run agriculture through their classrooms. And in particular, Maclean High School recently won the North Coast National Cattle Showing section at the show in Lismore, and last year they actually beat Tocal College in the state competition. So we've got some real great strength here in the Clarence Valley for our primary producers, and we've got some great strength in our juniors coming through as well. So if you have the opportunity to support a farmer and buy from a local farmer, do that, because you're keeping them in business, you're keeping that family in business, but more importantly, give that farmer a hug and say thank you, because I tell you now, being a farmer, it's a tough gig. It's 24/7. Rain, hail or shine. A lot of them were impacted during the floods, our recent floods. It's going to take a lot for them to recover. They're our unsung heroes. They fly under the radar when it comes to, they don't complain. They suffer in silence, and so it's important that they feel needed and feel loved, because they do such an extraordinary job for us to put food on our table. So tomorrow, National Ag Day, think about where your food comes from, how it gets from your gate to plate, how lucky we are here in the Clarence Valley, because if it went pear-shaped, the world went pear-shaped, Clarence Valley's fine. We've got 65 commodities. So we've got milk, we've got our seafood, we've got our beef, we've got our bakers and makers, and so we'll be doing okay. We'll just put a toll gate at each end of the M1 to keep people out. But really seriously think about your food security, what that looks like in a natural disaster as well, and think about what our farmers and primary producers, makers and bakers actually go through to put food on your table every minute of the day.
Yeah, indeed. And the thing is, if we do go pear-shaped, we just look up Deb Novak and we just come to your place because
Exactly.
you are ready.
I'm ready.
Thank you so much. And you are so right. If you do see a farmer tomorrow for National Ag Day, make sure you say a big thank you, because without our farmers, we would be in a bad position.
Very bad position.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Deb Novak, of course, the organiser of the Grafton Farmers Markets every Thursday from 1 o'clock, and of course one of our local councillors as well. Back with more after this. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Market and, of course, the 2022 Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo down here at Market Square. And you obviously know that I like food. Just got to take one look at me, and that's why we've got Big Pete's Barbecue come over to have a bit of a chat. G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm pretty good, mate. I'm pretty good.
Now, you're a fairly new business to the farmers market?
To the farmers market and to Grafton. We moved into the Grafton probably 6 months ago.
Okay.
And we had a little bit of time off, and now it's time to get back to work.
You've been a butcher for most of your life?
Yeah, all my life I've been a butcher.
Yeah.
And, cooking and food has been in my life and my family's life for forever. I mean, my son's a chef and my daughter works in cafes, and then of course there's me being a butcher.
Yeah, okay. And you've got a great food trailer over there.
Yeah.
That you do all your cooking in.
We do all cooking in our food truck. Big Pete's Barbecue. We love to come down here to the markets, and we've just done Jacaranda, and we're starting to get a slow following. People are coming down just for our food. It's how'd you say? Old school.
Yeah, sure. So your hamburgers are real hamburgers.
A hamburger's a real hamburger.
Yeah.
Nothing processed. So being a butcher, I make everything myself.
Yeah.
So I make all my own hamburger patties. I do all my own chicken. I seam it out, butterfly it out, crumb it, do the whole lot myself. I slice all my tomatoes by hand, and lettuce and everything's done by hand.
Yeah.
None of these frozen onions and all that sort of
rubbish
stuff. So I try and do food the way I like it.
Yep.
And as you said, take a look at me.
We'll take a look, both of us.
I like food.
Yeah. Indeed. And I can see that our producer over there is munging into one of your big hamburgers.
He's into one of my hamburgers now, at the moment. This is just to keep me out of trouble,
Semi-retirement.
Yeah, well, I worked in the butcher shop 70 hours a week for 30 years.
Yeah.
And it has taken its toll on the old body, and I'm getting on in age, and it's time just to cruise through into my twilight years.
Yeah. And what brought you to Grafton?
We didn't I used to live on the Central Coast. My kids are still down there. It's beautiful and everything, but it changed.
Yeah.
It's funny when you say too many city people come up there, and the attitude of people changed and everything like that. And Grafton seems to offer what we grew up and used to. We live out of town. We live in Glenorchy, and we've got a decent sized property out there, and we like to try and live self-sufficient. And as I said, just a couple of days work puts a bit of cash in the pocket, helps pay the bills.
Now, if there's someone out there that would like to have Big Pete's Barbecue trailer at their event, they can hire you?
You can hire me, yeah. Big Pete's Barbecue on Facebook. You can get in contact with us through our Facebook page at the moment. We have got, we go out to Yamba Big Four and do their holiday periods and that out there, because they've booked us in. But we're willing to do all sorts of things. I've done weddings, 50ths and all that sort of stuff. As I said, everything we do is handmade. So I've got charcoal spits and all that sort of stuff.
In that little trailer?
The charcoal spits on the outside.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we do all that, and I do all my salads and things like that. It's great for a birthday party, 50th or special occasions, engagement parties.
Yeah, weddings?
Weddings, yeah. We were in Sydney for a wedding last weekend. So we do whatever, wherever.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good.
And that's what I like the sound of. You say old school. I remember the traditional hamburgers. I was in Sydney recently visiting my parents, and my dad said, "I'll go and get a hamburger for you," and he came back, and it was a big hamburger. It was a hamburger with a lot, and that's what you expect when you want a hamburger with a lot.
Not
a hamburger that's supposed to be a big hamburger that's only that big.
Yeah, well, as I say, the people in the van next to us, he got a hamburger with a lot, and he couldn't get his hands around it. So that's what I pride myself on, and it's reasonably priced. I'm no dearer than any takeaway shop that you want to go to, which you find a lot of food vans, they do inflate their prices a little bit. I'm the same price as whether I'm at Jacaranda or a music festival, or I'm here, you know.
Yep.
I was approached by the TAFE girls to come do a couple of days in their car park, seeing their kiosk is closed. So we're considering doing that, you know, just for the tradie boys, you know, down there for their bacon and egg rolls and coffees and that in the morning. So yeah, you know, coming into the crazy season,
Christmas season,
it's going to start picking up. I think.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so Big Pete's Barbecue on Facebook.
On Facebook,
we can get in contact with you.
Get in contact with us anyway.
Fantastic.
No worries.
All right, you know, it's very tempting that the hamburger that's been chomped down. I was going to, but I've got a home cooked dinner to go to tonight.
Oh
so
no!
Got to keep the family happy.
Well, I'm here every Thursday, so you know.
Well, maybe next Thursday might be the day.
Yeah, come down and see you. As I said, we do a beautiful schnitzel burger as well.
Oh, schnitzel burger.
Schnitzel burger, bacon, egg, and pineapple. You cannot beat it.
Okay. All right, you've got me tempted. I've got to tell you. Thank you, Pete.
No worries.
Appreciate
Pleasure.
That. No worries. Big Pete from Big Pete's Barbecue down here at the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Business Expo for 2022. We'll come back and wrap things up shortly here at Market Square. Awesome.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. Yeah. Welcome back to the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Business Expo 2022. Still down here at Market Square. And with me right now is Simone, and she's from Clarence Coffee and Catering. Good afternoon.
Hi, Damien. How are you?
I am terrific. Now tell me about Clarence Coffee and Catering, what you guys do, and how long have you been around?
Well, we're probably the longest serving stallholder at the Grafton Farmers Markets now. I first started just over 10 years ago as a grower, and we did have a coffee stall, sort of, and I love my coffee, so I pick and pack and come to the markets with my produce and also plants so that people could grow as well. And coffee was either late or wouldn't show up, and I said, do you want to sell it? Because I'm a chef by trade. And they said, yeah, I'd love to. And it went from there. So then I was growing and doing coffee, and then I started to cook again, and 10 years later, I'm not doing much growing because I'm too busy doing coffee and cooking, and now I'm more focused on the growers' produce and what I can do with that. Like if they've got excess, you know, they might come to me and say, I've got, you know, peaches. Can you do something with it, Simone? And yep, so we'll turn it into a jam or something like that.
Fantastic.
So I've done a lot of that in the last month in particular. There's been a bit of excess, so a lot of going back. I've got a commercial kitchen at home as well, so that makes it easier. I can just get up, go to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, I love it.
So you have coffee obviously down here, but you have food as well.
Yeah, so we'll make quiches, sausage rolls. Quiches we've been doing about 9 years. That started as in with, you know, buying storeholders, you know, meat, chicken, their tomatoes, produce, and putting it all in. I try to use as much local as possible. And so, you know, because I know what it's like to be a grower.
Yeah,
you know?
yep, and a small
understand.
business.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you go to other events other than the farmers markets? Do you go out?
Yeah, like sometimes I do a bit of catering. We do jack around TAFE markets. We've done quite a few art in the paddocks. Yeah, special events, food focus events, local. Yeah, a lot of that sort of stuff.
Fantastic.
Not too much
No.
because I'm pretty busy.
Well, it certainly sounds like you are being kept busy.
Yes,
Yeah.
very. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's 6-7 days. Yeah.
How can we contact you?
We have Facebook, and I'm sort of on Instagram. I'm not really social media, but I do a bit. But I'm out there on the Facebook and Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, so Clarence Coffee and Catering.
That's it.
If
Yep.
you or come down and see you down here at the farmers markets every Thursday.
Yep. Or Wednesday at Yamba.
Wednesday at Yamba. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for having a chat.
Thank you,
I
Damien.
think it's almost time for us to wrap up, and I think I've got to go to bed.
I know. We'll have another coffee.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Thank you, Simone. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Simone from Clarence Coffee and Catering with us down here at the farmers markets. We'll come back with another very special guest in just a moment here at the farmers markets and the 2022 Grafton Chamber of Commerce Business Expo. Welcome back to the Grafton Farmers Markets and the Grafton Chamber of Commerce Small Business Expo. I've got a celebrity right next to me right now. He's on 7 Mate and also one of our store holders here at the Farmers Markets. Ranger Nick, good afternoon.
Top of the day to you,
Absolutely.
Day,
Now, you're a bit of a celebrity in the TV world.
Oh, well, I get around a little bit. I get my ugly head on the box from time to time, but they tell me I've got a better face for radio.
Well, that's why I'm on the radio every morning.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like my food, and you obviously like your food too.
Absolutely. Getting rounder and shinier, mate.
What do you like about food? What is it that you like?
Oh, look, I like fresh produce.
Yep.
So I like good food. I try to produce as much of it out of my own garden as I can, because I believe that if you eat healthy, you have a healthy life.
Yep.
Yeah? So you can heal your body with the food
Yep.
you eat.
Yep. Okay. And you've got your own recipes and you've got your own products.
Absolutely. I've put 4 recipe books together now. I've got a range of products from camp ovens right through to online training programs, educational DVDs, these curry and spice kits, which are very easy to cook as a restaurant quality meal, whether you're on the road or camping or at home, busy lifestyle like you would have, Damo, flat out all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for a novice like myself who can't cook and can only burn water, something like this would be pretty easy.
Absolutely. Basically, mate, if you can read, just read through the simplified cooking suggestions and you'll crack a meal every time.
I'm just going to turn that around. So if we went to the website that's there, then people could then go on there, and you said it goes to a YouTube channel. YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Each recipe has its own YouTube link as well. That's right.
And then Bob's your uncle, sort of, or Ranger Nick's your uncle.
Absolutely, unless he's wearing a skirt, then he's your auntie. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Now tell me about this, the world's longest damper. You went to Sweden and you took it off.
Oh, no, it didn't go to Sweden.
Oh, right.
We actually did that out at Charleville in 2019.
No, you didn't, did you?
So look,
my old neck of the woods.
Is it?
Yeah.
Our stomping ground, the Yellow Belly country.
Absolutely. You know the song that Sim Dusty sang?
Yeah.
Charleville?
Yeah.
Do you want to have a sing now?
Yeah. Oh, it's a pretty little girl that's keen to say I will. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think so.
Yeah. No, I couldn't find it.
Okay.
So, but
you couldn't find the pretty little girl.
Nah, she wasn't
right.
there. And the one I did find, she was taken. Basically, what happened was, let's get a bit serious now.
Yeah, back to Charleville.
Keep it on track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate. So, I got invited out to Charleville because a mate of mine was sitting in the shed having Monday afternoon drinks. He said to the bloke, "What's this photo?" He said, "Well, it's actually a world record damper. It's a 75-metre damper that we made in 1994. So he Googled it and he found that a Swedish scout group actually held the title from 2006 at 125 metres.
Wow.
So he called me up and he was telling me about it, and I said, well, that's damn right un-Australian. I think we should do something about it. It's our iconic Australian bread. Let's get our sorry tails out there and do something about
Absolutely.
it. So on the 13th of July 2019, we brought that title back to Australia at 153.002 metres.
Wow, that's huge.
Pretty cool.
And how did you actually cook it?
Well, we actually I get this question a lot. We actually dug a trench and cooked it in a trench. So
Yeah.
there was an estimated 68 tonne of gidgee, and if you're at all familiar with the camp oven industry or outside cooking, you'll know that that's one of the best timbers in Australia to cook with, or God's gift to those who cook, if you will. It's very consistent heat, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out of your heat control. So what amazed me the most about a 153 metre long damper, it was all one colour. So the heat was very consistent.
Yep.
It was pretty exciting when I seen it come out.
That's a huge piece of damper.
Absolutely. It weighed in just under 400 kilos.
Whoa,
cooked.
jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, and I suppose you fed the whole of Charleville at that stage.
Absolutely, and the council had their hands full unblocking cistern pipes the next week. Yeah.
I could imagine. Yeah. 2019, you say?
2019.
Okay,
yeah.
it's only a couple of years ago. What are we now, 2022?
Well, 3 years disappeared, so it was
that's
only
right.
a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
okay. Yeah, good part of the world out there.
Oh, I love it, mate. Dust, blowflies, prickles. What's there not to like about
Absolutely.
Charleville?
That's exactly right. Fantastic. All right, so if we want to get more details about Ranger Nick's range of curries, then
Wiggle, rangernick.com.au. You'll find the curry kits on there, or go to currykits.com.au.
So you like the Wiggles?
Wiggle, I do. 3 daughters, mate. What can I say?
There you go. So
Yeah.
you did find her in Charleville.
Hot potato.
We appreciate your time, mate. So when are you back on 7, mate?
Sunday afternoons, or
okay.
Sundays. Yeah, I'm actually heading up to the coast next week to do another 10 episodes for next season.
Fantastic. All right, we'll have to watch it.
Have a go.
Too easy.
Right, mate.
Ranger Nick, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for your time.
No worries
mate.
at all.
Behave
Anytime.
yourself.
I'll try. If you can't be good, just be good at it.
That's a good start.
All right, back with more from the farmers markets after this. Welcome back to the Grafton Chamber of Commerce 2022 Small Business Expo here at the Farmers Markets. And of course, we started the day by talking to Donna from the Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to finish it off by chatting to her again. Thank you so much for having us down here today.
That's fine.
It's been a great day.
It really has been, yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been really good.
It's great to see so many businesses that are part of the Chamber come down and showcase what they've got.
That's right, yes, yep. No, it's been a really nice day, beautiful weather, and I think everyone's enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, very
even
much
if
so.
walking around having a yarn, so it's been good.
Now, one business we haven't spoken about is the one that you manage, and that's Nataris and Sons. They've been around for a lot of years.
We've been in business for 70 years, part of the Clarence Valley, and we do a lot for the local industry. And it's really good. It's been a pleasure to work there, actually. I haven't been there 70 years, but it's been a pleasure to work there as long as I have been.
But you have been there a long time.
I've been there nearly 45 years.
Wow.
Yep.
And you've started from the ground up?
Yep, started straight from school. It's been my only job.
That's wonderful.
So I'll start there and I'll finish there.
Yeah. Tell me more about what you actually do, what Nataris and Sons is all about.
Right. Well, we're timber manufacturers. So what we do, we actually mill the logs from start to finish. So we get them in, we buy them mainly through state forests, and then from there we saw them, we air dry them, we kiln dry them, and we run it into a finished product.
Wow.
So we start from finish to end. We have the whole, we do the whole product. So we've got hands-on on everything from start to finish, which is
Wow.
really good because we know what we need to cut, we know what species, and we end up with a finished product.
Yeah. And do you sell directly to the public?
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Yes, we mainly sell wholesale, but yes, we do sell directly to the public. And
Yeah.
really, with local people, we like to give them priority. So it's been a bit short supply, a lot of timber, because of the floods. But if we can help local people, we do that first.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And of course, you guys have been sponsoring Loving Life for many years, and you supplied all the wonderful wood that's around our studios.
That's right, yeah, lining board that for the
Yeah.
studio. And over the years, we've done a lot for the local industry. We did the barn, the flooring at the barn a few years ago. So, yeah, no, look, it's really good to have a look at something and said, we did that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, because the name Nantaris is so synonymous with Grafton.
That's correct, yes, that's right. Yeah, with the Saracen Theatre, which
Yes.
is the Nataris family. Look, they've been around for many years and always contributed to the local environment and local institutions. It's really great. You know,
Yeah.
with the schools and everything that we like to show support, we try to do.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, we're coming to the end of the year, so you guys will be knocking off in a couple of weeks' time to have a bit of a break, I would imagine.
Yeah, we close down. Most of the mills close down over Christmas, so we close down for 3 weeks to do our annual maintenance over the Christmas period. So really, it's been a very hard 3 years since the bushfires. So you're looking forward to a break this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, again, thank you for having us down here, and well done on a great day. And we'll hopefully do it again next year.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yes. I'm sure we'll do it again next year because it's been a great day.
Yeah, certainly has. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you very much, Damien.
Donna, of course, from the Chamber of Commerce. And that wraps up our live broadcast through Clarence Media YouTube channel this afternoon. Big thank you to Emma and to Leah for everything they've done today. Don't forget, if you would like to get involved with Clarence Media, maybe run some advertising through one of the live channels, you can certainly get in contact with Clarence Media. You can do that by giving Leah a call, and her number 041 2137 or contact us at Loving Life. So thank you very much for your company this afternoon, and we'll see you again real soon for another edition of Clarence Valley Media YouTube channel. And we'll do that, of course, in the next couple of weeks, and some very special things coming up in 2023. Looking forward to that one. Have a fantastic Thursday evening, and we'll chat again real soon.